I am on a mission to find a communist UFO building hidden in the mountains of Bulgaria. It's a place that's abandoned back in the 80s, and it's a place that is probably one of the most beautiful that Bulgaria has to offer. The mission starts now. Morning, guys, or should I say actually good afternoon. We are currently in Bulgaria. We have crossed the border earlier this morning from Romania, and we are currently in a town called Veliko Târgu. I don't know how to pronounce it. I've tried many times. I just keep messing up. But we're currently at the bus station, and our goal today is to, like I said, complete our mission. Find the communist UFO. I don't know how we're gonna get there. I really don't. This is a bus station that's gonna take us to another town, but it's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a very long travel day. Let's go see if there's a bus. Let's wait for a bus and see if it takes us in that direction. We might be hitchhiking, we might be taking a taxi, we might be walking for hours. I don't know, but it's gonna be a fun day. It's just gonna be an adventure. No pressure, just a mission that we gotta complete. So let's go ahead and get started. Made it to a next town here. This is a different town that's on the way to the communist UFO. The name of this town is Gabrovo, and you can see it's literally like an old communist era town. The bus station literally looks like it's not been renovated for 50 years. But that's what it's like traveling in Bulgaria. This is the sort of old type of vibe that you get from traveling in Bulgaria. We do need to take one more bus, and that's going to drop us off of the highway, and from there we're going to start hiking. So it's going to be pretty intense after that. But we've still got a long way. I think it's another like hour-long bus until we get to the point where we can drop off. But we're just going to wait until the bus comes around in this old 70s bus station until we get there. All right, this is the bus. Hopefully we're gonna be there in an hour, and that's when the real hike begins. All right, we've just gotten dropped off the highway. You can see it's all the way right behind me. I have to say, I'm quite surprised there are quite a few cars, quite a few people who are actually in this area, but for the most part, I'm pretty sure they are Bulgarians. They're local people from Bulgaria who probably have heard about this place, who have probably been to this place multiple times before. As a foreigner, I think I might be the only one, but it's official. The hike to the monument begins. Now, Google Maps says that this hike is gonna take about 3 hours, and there's a bit of an incline. However, with these bags on me, I don't know if you can tell, it's probably going to be more than 3 hours. It's probably going to be 4, maybe even 5 hours. Hopefully by the time I get to the monument, the sun will not have set so that I can at least see it in daylight. But the hike begins, the adventure officially begins. We are now on our way to one of the most unique and one of the most important communist monuments in all of Eastern Europe. Let the adventure begin. I do have to admit, even though it's going to be a pretty long hike, I think this might actually be one of the most enjoyable hikes I'm going to do in all of Eastern Europe, because we're kind of in the sort of hilly, mountainous area of Bulgaria. We're much higher than sea level, and the breeze, it's nice. It's one of the best sort of mountain breezes I've ever felt, which worries me because that means it's going to get pretty cold at night, and if we are going to be camping out here in the night, I would not want to freeze to death. But regardless, it is still really, really nice weather. Let's see if we can hitch a ride. All right, that was a fail, but still, regardless, very, very nice weather. Really, really good. So hopefully the hike's going to be enjoyable because of the cool breeze that we're going to feel along the way.
You want to put your stuff in the back?
Is there space?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, sure, thank you. Hi.
All right.
Have a great trip. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you too. Bye.
Bye. Fortunately, we were able to get somebody who would give us a ride up. And the Buzludzha monument is literally just right over there. It's not that far away. The only problem is that if I'm staying overnight, I do need to be able to find a place to stay. And if I don't, then it's really camping out here in the wild. So let's go see if there's anywhere else where I could maybe stay for a night. Hi. Can I stay for one night? No? Full? Sure, this entire place is abandoned. And there's a very aggressive German Shepherd over there, so let's go back up. I don't see anybody here. Alright, well, you might be wondering, how am I sitting in such a nice chair with music in the background and chandeliers everywhere? I don't know if you can tell. I'm currently at a place known as Hotel Edelweiss. This is one of the hotels that are around Buzludzha Monument. I just went in and asked, and they said they don't have any availability, and this is the last lodge in this area, which means that everything here is full. That literally means I'm probably going to have to sleep on the outside, which is going to be fun, which is going to be very interesting, and it's going to be a great experience to have that, you know, being able to say I slept in a communist UFO building in Bulgaria is insane. In the meantime, we have a fused tea. I'm so glad that they have fused teas here in Bulgaria. I thought they only had it in Romania, but they have it here in Bulgaria too, which makes me very, very happy. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to relax here for a second. And I think when we're ready to go, we're just going to hike all the way up to the top of the monument. And for the first time ever, you guys are going to get to see the monument. And we're going to spend the rest of the night there since, you know, we can't find a place to stay. Which should be interesting, should be fun, but that's what we got to do. Where you see something that lives up to the image that you've seen online. Today, I can proudly say that after hitchhiking, after going around hotels and lodges and getting rejected, we have officially made it to one of the gems of Bulgaria, a communist UFO building known as Buzludzha, right behind me, here in the middle of nowhere, Bulgaria. Well, I don't know if you can tell, but the wind is extremely tough. I don't even know if I can fly my drone because of how strong this wind is. And definitely, if you've watched my Slovakia video, I do not want to repeat what happened in Slovakia, because that is a memory I'd rather keep in the past. But right behind me, you can tell that's it. That is Buzludzha. That is the communist UFO building, and it is incredible. It's massive. Like, you know, when I look at pictures of it, I thought, oh, okay, like, it's a building, that's it. But once I get here, I realize you could probably fit thousands of people in that building. It is insane. Now, this is one of the greatest structures ever made by mankind. So Buzludzha is actually closed, so we can't go inside, unfortunately. I know in the past people were actually able to go inside, but nowadays you can see for yourself it's completely gated up and we're not allowed to go in at all. Now, why is this such an important structure? Well, first off, they've got insane mosaics on the inside. Mosaics that make it some of the largest in the 20th century. And Bulgarians, artists from all across the country came here by the Communist Party, by the Socialist Party, to come and work and try to build what's inside. This structure was built, it started being built in the 1970s and was supposed to serve as sort of like a big important building for the Socialist Party, which served as the forerunner to the Communist Party here in Bulgaria. And the architecture style, as you can tell, it's very futuristic. It's one of those classic communist futuristic styles, and it is insane. It's built on the mountain, which is called Buzludzha. So the name of the mountain is also Buzludzha. And what they had to do is they actually had to use like tons and tons of TNT to level the mountain. So we're actually on top of a mountain right now. They had to level the mountain so that they could build this thing on top. So it is insane how much effort the Communist Party put into building it. Recently, the government of Bulgaria has understood the importance of this, and they've tried to preserve it. They've tried to preserve the mosaics. They've even created a foundation. They've put money into trying to make sure that this place is preserved. But unfortunately, you can tell for yourself, I mean, letters are literally dropping off from the words monuments right here at the front of the building. Now, of course, the view that you get from this mountain is incredible. You basically get to see, I think this actually might be the tallest peak in the entire area around here, which makes it a very good spot for the Communist Party to choose to build their monument right behind me. But regardless, this is pretty cool. This is really, really insane. And to imagine that I'm literally standing on the site where Communist Party members of Bulgaria came and convened and had meetings and conferences and everything, it's insane. Unfortunately, those days are long gone, and this building here behind me has probably seen much better days than the days it's seeing now. Let's go walk around this building. I think there's like a perimeter that we can walk around, see if there's anything interesting, but just from the entrance alone, this is very impressive. Okay, I just made a quick round around the monument. The monument, it's actually open air. You can see at the very top, the holes, that is open air. So the wind actually can blow inside. Now, fortunately, they've been able to protect the mosaics on the inside. They put this sort of green cover on the inside so that the mosaics aren't exposed to the wind and the snow during winter time and all that. But still, you can hear sometimes the creaking of the metal. Like, everything's not really in place. That things are slowly falling apart in there. And the creaks sort of have this sort of eerie sound to a very eerie vibe that sort of makes you feel like, oh, like, what is this? Like, where am I? And it almost scares you a little bit because of the history of this place, and to imagine, you know, that this is the home of the Communist Party in Bulgaria. It was inaugurated so many decades ago. But nonetheless, very, very interesting to walk around and see the structure itself. If you notice right behind me, the building is exactly blocking precisely the sun. And that's because this building is built on an east-west axis. So the actual structure that stands up like that, the vertical part, versus the round part, it's aimed at an east-west axis. So when the sun rises and you're on the other side of the building, you will not see the sun. The building will block out the sun. And just like when the sun is setting, the building will block out the sun on the other side. Well, as you can see, I have put on a sweater because it is cold. The wind is really, really strong. And the thing is, because this peak, Buzludzha, is like the tallest one out of all the peaks around, I wanted to point out that at the entrance of the Buzludzha monument, there's this thing here. I ask you, what is this thing? Why is it there? Like, this weird structure with metal beams coming out of it. Like, what were they trying to do? And the fact is, it is an unfinished project. It was an unfinished part of the monument. This was supposed to be the torch. It was supposed to be a monument to the torch. And sort of the idea of, you know, a hand holding the torch, which is a theme that you see very commonly in communist Eastern European countries. Unfortunately, it's finished, and it just sort of brought it away, just like the way it is now. And you can see it's covered in graffiti everywhere, and it isn't preserved at all. But nonetheless, this view is beautiful. The monument, you can see it right there. It is honestly incredible. I mean, look at that sunset right there. It is just falling right behind the monument. The wind is way too strong. There's no way I can fly my drone, and if this video has no drone shots, that's why. Because the wind has just been incredibly strong. I mean, the funny thing is, actually, if you look behind me, there are a bunch of windmills. Those windmills have been blowing the whole time, and I'm pretty sure they were built there because they know that this place is very, very windy. But I mean, look at this view. This is sunset here at the UFO communist building in Bulgaria. This is insane. This is a dream come true for me. I never thought that there would be a day where I wouldn't just be looking at the images of this building in a magazine, but ultimately actually standing in front of it and seeing it for my own eyes. All right, let's go ahead and set up our sleeping arrangement, because we do need to figure out how that's going to work, and there's nobody around, so we're sleeping under a UFO communist structure tonight. That should be fun. Very quiet, there's no wind, there's nothing. And the reason for that is because we are on the other side of the building. So the monument, the wind is blowing from that way, but it blows onto the monument. So we don't get any wind here. And we're covered by the shade. So if it rains, if it's windy, we should be okay. That is gonna be our bed for the night. Hopefully it works out, but I'm gonna get some rest and I will see you guys tomorrow when the sun rises. Good night here from Bulgaria, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Good morning, guys. It is 6 in the morning, and I am freezing cold. But we're gonna go ahead and get up. I'm shaking right now. I don't know if you can tell with this camera. It cannot stay still because my hand is just so cold. But it's time to get up. That is Buzludzha. We didn't sleep overnight. It was really, really cold. Really, really windy. Not a good sleep at all. But everything was closed. The hotels and lodges were all full. I have to say, Buzludzha, it's a great place. I thought you needed more time. You don't. You need really 2-3 hours, and that's it. And if you're thinking of flying a drone, don't even think about it. It's probably one of the windiest places on the planet. It's really, really windy, which is why it turned into this big skiing snow place once winter comes, because of the weather here. And so they have wind holes all the way on the other side. But it's way too cold, and I'm ready to get out of here. So that's gonna be the end of this vlog here from Buzludzha, Bulgaria. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give it a